Hi, this is Kevin Deal, and today I'm here with Max Mott from Fyne Audio.
Hi Kevin, how are you doing?
Good, we're doing great. Max is one of the top management from Fyne Audio, a real UK-based manufacturer of loudspeakers that actually has a factory in Scotland.
Indeed we do.
Right?
Yeah.
And they make cabinets, and they make drivers, and they make crossovers. And I'm so excited to be associated with this company for a couple reasons. One is because of the people. God, you know, when I started inquiring, it was almost like they talk about coincidences, and they talk about, is it odd or is it God? And this was a coincidence for me. And what happened is it opened my eyes to things. It opened, because when I contacted him, I go, what about Dr. Paul Mills and these other guys that were the former ex? And they go, oh yeah, he's here. You know, you want to talk to him? What do you mean, do I want to talk to him? You know, and I'm not kidding. I was on a video meeting with you, Angie, Dr. Paul Mills, and then there's another
Stuart Wilkinson.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the superstars of loudspeaker design and manufacturing. Not just one person, it is a team of people.
Isn't that normal for all brands though, Kevin? Because I do that daily as I'm visiting one of our many, I think we've got 40, 45 distributors around the world now. And we all, you know, I'm sales and marketing, but I'm always leaning on Stuart or Angie or Dr. Paul and doing this. They know my distributors almost as much as I know me because everyone's invested in it.
Yeah.
You know, it's great.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's why the products are so inspiring. And at the same time, I had this other guy reach out to me and he goes, oh my God, I got that guy Mike that has that web channel. He did the video.
Okay, all right.
That you had shared with me, and he bought a pair of, and it's just so great how it came together. Such a great company. And what we're going to talk about today is, and before I go anywhere, I want to make sure that I love Fyne Audio. And if you decide you want to hear them, I got to make sure you go to your local dealer. And if they don't sell Fyne Audio, ask them why. I want to make sure that you support the local guys, okay? I don't mind that you come here to our channel or, you know, if you buy from us because you don't have a dealer, but support your local dealer. They need the business. Everybody needs to stay alive. Every town's better off with a record store and a hi-fi store. 700 series, there's 5 models, right?
Yeah, 2 bookshelves, 3 floor standers, yeah.
And this is the middle floor stander, and this is the one that just blew my mind. I mean, not that the other ones won't, but when I heard this, I was like shocked by it because...
Well, this is the first one we launched. When we launched the range, it was the 702. 702 and 703, but really the 702 was the one that we very first launched a few years ago, and people were just like, wow, because of the performance, you know, it's amazing. But the people look at the cabinet and the craftsmanship, you know. I mean, we don't cut wood in Scotland because you can't buy the timber that we need in Scotland, but it comes from Europe, and everything else is done, you know, in Scotland.
And this is birch ply.
This is the point. This is a birch ply laminate cabinet, the same as an F1.
Right.
It's the best we can do.
Right.
It's incredibly strong, and then it's not a gloss finish. It's a piano lacquered finish with multiple layers cut back. I mean, it's just. Am I looking at a Steinway piano?
Yeah.
It's really, it's good. I'm not exaggerating.
I feel like I can reach my hand inside the wood grain.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So the fit and finish of this thing, you know, it's a bit special. Kind of needed to be because when we launched the 7 Series, we were still a relatively new brand. You know, bunch of old guys that everyone knows, but the brand was new, so we wanted to do a good thing.
I want to know about this driver and what you did to make it so special. I noted that you're crossing over the high frequency driver differently than other companies.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say what the result is. You can, okay, I'll let you tell what the result is.
Well,
Go ahead.
the technology allows a better crossover point, you know, so you're actually getting more energy in the right area, you know. It's an isoflare drive unit, and which basically is a combination of the word isotropic and flare because of the waveguide. You know, as I've said many times, as humans have evolved to have 2 eyes and 2 ears, but strangely we've only got 1 mouth, and that's what a point source design is. We are all, as humans, the ultimate example of a point source product, which means that you're 2 ears and you can really understand where that information is coming from. So you've got the whole drive unit, the HF, mid, bass, all coming from that, from that 1 point.
You're
So it's
playing it
very
back
accurate.
the same way it was recorded.
Exactly,
Right?
and the off-axis performance, as we say, is really good as well. It doesn't feel like you've got, when there's if a load of guys or girls were reciting or speaking the same words, trying to do it at exactly the same time, your brain is so fast and so smart, you would know that there's different people trying to speak at the same time. That's when things aren't quite aligned properly. This loudspeaker, because of the way it's constructed, the time alignment is perfect and it is 1 voice,
And because it's a lower frequency, the bass driver, or this is mid-range and bass, but it's
Correct.
crossed over at about 750 hertz, as I
correct.
recall.
Yeah.
And so what I've noted is that the bass on not just this speaker, all the way to the big Vintage 15, the Vintage 15, which is a 15-inch two-way, that speaker has unbelievable mid-band, and the bass is more tuneful than I would have ever imagined, because
Tight.
sometimes they get a little bit plummy, and sometimes the mid-range can just sound a little too chesty, but your speakers don't.
Well, that's exactly. It's funny because that's the word that Dr. Paul uses a lot, plummy. And I always say the tail wags the dog. So if the bass is a little bit loose or not that accurate, it does actually have a detrimental effect on the mid and the HF. So, excuse me. The accuracy of the LF, the low frequency, from the drive units through this twin cavity design, getting the maximum out of the BassTrax diffuser at the bottom of the loudspeaker is really paramount. It's very, very good. I mean, this is such a big deal for me, the BassTrax diffuser.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because the beauty of a driver like this is they work so great in bad rooms, especially for the mid band. If they're a little bit close to a wall, in my own system at home, I've had great experiences with this type of a design, but still the bass problem remains.
Correct. We call it boundary effect.
Right.
So you generally, there's no replacement for displacement. So if you've got a box that's moving a lot of air, generally speaking, when you put it near a wall, you even end up with more bass energy and a complete lack of control. You get this plumminess or this booming. Positioning is it's always been a bit of the Achilles heel of large loudspeakers, We know this, we've been doing it a while, but the BassTrax diffuser system really massively reduces the boundary effect. How does it do this? Okay, so imagine a port, a little bit like the exhaust in a car. When these things are, really playing hard, the amount of air these things are moving through this tube that comes down through the loudspeaker, it's a huge amount of air. And you probably can't see inside, but there's a BassTrax diffuser. Imagine a cone, like a small mountain with a peak. So the air comes down, hits the top of the peak, it turns that energy from a plane wave into a 360-degree waveform. So I always say a little bit like dropping a pebble into a still pool of water. The rings radiate out from that central point, as opposed to just dropping a handful of stones in a pool of water and it's just a random mess, which is what really happens if that bass or that air energy was to just hit the floor. It's uncontrolled, So we're controlling the energy after it's left the box. We're giving it direction, So it really, from a drummer's perspective and someone who likes bass, which is me, it really gives you that authority and that control. And it's our patented design. Dr. Ball came up with it. It's just superb.
And I love having the second bass driver. Love it.
Yeah, it just gives you a little bit more weight
Yeah.
and a little bit more authority, and it works. It's completely tuned, and it works in conjunction with the BassTrax diffuser. Sometimes you put a second bass unit in the box, gives you a bit more bass. It actually can give you less control. You can get more, but it just doesn't really work. It doesn't knit together properly.
Right.
It works in complete harmony with the BassTrax diffuser. So
Love it. So the BassTrax diffuser is up inside here. There's a space at the bottom of the cabinet.
yeah, this is
Right.
I call it a sandwich plinth. So you've got two very heavy metal plates, and in between them inside, I'm sure we'll probably have a graphic or something popping up on the screen, maybe where we can actually show how it works. The diffuser is between these two very heavy metal plinths. The other advantage of these plinths, not just containing the diffuser, is it actually gets more mass at the bottom of the loudspeaker, so it's incredibly stable because we've doubled the amount of metal, if you like, at the bottom of the cabinet. So it's incredibly stable. It has very big heavy-duty spikes. Use them, adjust them. You can adjust them from the top. Get the thing level. You don't want the loudspeaker wobbling around, because it'd be like a camera on a tripod, not wobbling around. The image is going to be blurred. It's the same with sound, So it's a beautiful thing, and
Comes in the piano walnut,
So you've got piano walnut, which is this one.
piano black.
Piano black, beautiful, and also piano white.
Right, and it's a true piano finish. It's not
Proper,
like the
it's
stuff
not,
that they.
It's not gloss paint.
No.
It's a real deal piano.
It's the
finish.
real deal piano.
Yeah,
And I was just blown away. I mean, the first time I saw their display, I got to be honest. Like I said, oh my God, this is what other companies should be doing. This is what they should be doing. Why aren't they doing this? And it's like, oh my God, it's the real deal. And I saw that they were made in the UK. And I was like, oh God, I just love this stuff. And I wish I was working with them. And now I am. It's just, look, talk to one of our non-commissioned salespeople here. Talk to your local retail dealer and ask them for Fyne audio. You need to do your own due diligence. Make sure that you buy something that's going to just inspire you. I'm always on your side, and I'm always going to tell you how things are. If it leaves here at Upscale Audio, it's going to be right. But you got to buy something that's going to really make your heart sing. And for me, I got to say, hearing this has just been an epic experience. So I want to thank Max Mod for giving us time. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you.
Later. Bye.